and Compete Caribbean, and implemented by the Jamaica Intellectual Property Office, or JIPO. For the next item, it's the sale of Lot 4, Fairy Mead Farm, Aragonabo, St. Catherine. Cabinet gave approval for the sale of Lot 4, Fairy Mead Farm, the Aragonabo property in St. Catherine, to Musson Jamaica Limited for industrial use at a cost of $187 million. Cabinet also approved the transfer of the proceeds from the sale of the property to the G.C. Foster College of Physical Education and Sport to be invested for further development of the college. The property is expected to be converted to an industrial park for manufacturing, goods, warehousing of food and beverage products, and/or BPO. Cabinet also gave approval for the contribution of $21 million towards the legal fees of 5 members of the JCF. The Cabinet's approval also includes the establishment of an interim procedure for the management of contribution to legal expenses incurred by members of the JCF for actions taken during lawfully assigned duties pending the finalization of a formal policy by the Ministry of National Security. It is important to note that from a previous Cabinet submission, it was agreed that the government would not be directly paying the legal fees for police officers with cases before the courts, but would contribute to the Legal Defense Fund for police officers. A legal defense fund had been established through the Heads of Agreement for the contract period 2012 to 2015 between the Government of Jamaica and the 5 police groups. The agreement allowed an injection of $20 million to start the fund. Under the 2017 to 2019 Heads of Agreement between the government and the Jamaica Police Federation, it was agreed that under the heading Legal Defense Fund, the Government of Jamaica was prepared to provide the necessary legal support for rank-and-file members brought before the court resulting from the legal challenges arising from the execution of their duties. Moving on, there's a force majeure claim submitted by the operators of the Norman Manley International Airport and the Sangster International Airport arising from the novel coronavirus pandemic. Cabinet gave approval for suspension of the payment by MBJ Airports Limited, operators of Sangster International Airport, of the monthly base concession fee in the amount of US $473,000 for the period April 1, 2020 to December 31, 2020, resulting in a total waiver of the US $4,257,000 and the waiver of interest payable by PAC Kingston Airports Limited, operators of Norman Manley International Airport, on deferred concession fee payments over the period March 2020 to May 2020. The onset of the COVID-19 pandemic had significantly impacted the operations of the 2 major international airports, commencing with restrictions imposed on travel to and from several countries. Both airports reported a significant drop in air traffic. For the next item, I am sure you are aware, because the proclamation was made of Sam Sharp Day on December 27, 2020. Cabinet gave approval for the proclamation of Sam Sharp Day on December 27, 2020, as part of the processes to bring greater national awareness to the work and significance of the Right Excellent Samuel Sharp National Hero. The Right Excellent Samuel Sharp had often been described as the least celebrated national hero, as many Jamaicans seem to be unaware of the contribution of Sam Sharp to freedom in Jamaica. In order to bring more national focus to the commemoration of the life of Sam Sharp, the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport intended to create an instrument to direct greater focus on Sam Sharp. The date of December 27 would commemorate the Christmas rebellion for which he was renowned. Sam Sharp Day is not proposed to be a public holiday. There were a number of reports that Cabinet received and approved to be tabled in Parliament. The Financial Investigations Division 2016-17 report, Certified Appropriation Account, Auditor General's Department 2013-2014, Devon House Development Limited 2019-2020, Land Divestment 2019-2020, Runaway Bay Water Company Limited 2013-2014, the Toll Authority 2018-2019, Management Institute for National Development, MIND 2019-2020, Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF 2019-2020, the Annual Report for eGov Jamaica Limited 2019-2020, and Universal Service Fund 2019-2020. There are a number of award of contract for which Cabinet gave approval. Cabinet gave approval for the award of a contract for stabilization works along the Chovy Road in St. Mary to Surrey Paving and Aggregate Company Limited in the amount of $321,347,655.60. The payment of a mobilization advance with surety was also approved in the amount of $70,696,484.23, which was 22% of the contract price. Cabinet also gave approval for the award of contract in the amount of $104,267,570.32, inclusive of GCT, to Cheetah Toys and More LLC for the supply and delivery of information and communications technology, ICT equipment, under the Alternative Pathway for Secondary Education Program, APSE. As you may know, the 21st century is expected to be a time of rapid technological growth, and so the school's curriculum must ensure that young people are well prepared for the challenges and opportunities that they will meet as adults in this century. The Ministry of Education, Youth and Information has to make every effort to provide for the diverse needs in order to fully maximize the capabilities of our students. Hence, the Ministry has created alternative learning pathways to receiving an education at the secondary level. Alternative pathways represent a new approach to secondary education, one that is customized, diverse, relevant, equitable, outcomes-based, and inclusive. And significantly, this approach has with it the introduction of a 7-year period of instruction for students on all secondary pathways. Continuing with contracts, Cabinet gave approval for the award of a contract to Cambridge Resources International, Inc. in the amount of US $997,608.69 for the design, supply, and installation of a web-enabled public investment management information system, PMIS, that will serve as the repository of information on all public investment projects across central government, public bodies, and public-private partnerships at the various stages of the project cycle, inclusive of concept, feasibility, approval, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation, thereby allowing access for the tracking of status and performance information on all projects as they move through the project cycle. Cabinet also gave approval for the award of a contract to YP Seaton and Associates Company Limited in the amount of $179,540,350 for the supply of materials and provision of shoreline construction works at Anoto Bay in St. Mary under the Government of Jamaica Adaptation Fund Program. Cabinet gave approval for the award of contract on behalf of the National Housing Trust to J.H. Dunstan and Associates Limited in the amount of $649,395,752.06 to construct a sewage treatment plant at Perth Housing Development, Phase 2 in Manchester. Cabinet gave approval for the award of a contract on behalf of the National Water Commission to Champion Industrial Equipment and Supplies Limited in the amount of $77,710,285 for the Kencott, South Avenue, Lyndhurst Road, Melrose Avenue sewage improvement works. Cabinet gave approval for the variation of contract on behalf of the Port Authority of Jamaica for maintenance services for the X-ray scanning machine at the Kingston Freeport Terminal. The original contract amount was US $1 million. The variation is in the amount of US $430,000 to NukeTech Company Limited. Cabinet gave approval for the award of a contract to Cable and Wireless Jamaica Limited in the amount of US $403,568.91 for the purchase of a voice over Internet protocol, Avaya Aura Release 8, for implementation at the offices of the Ministry of Labor and Social Security island-wide. Cabinet also gave approval for the variation of contract for the rehabilitation program air conditioning and ventilation works at the Cornwall Regional Hospital to Ariel Limited. The initial contract value was $512,779,981.70, with a revision amount of $661,954,173.48. Cabinet gave approval for the variation of contract for rehabilitation program Phase 2, demolition and structural repairs to levels 7 to 9 at the Cornwall Regional Hospital to D.T. Brown Construction Limited, Sinopharm Pan Caribbean Limited, JV. The initial contract value was $80,297,998.80. The revision now stands at $111,804,919.71. And finally, Cabinet gave approval for the award of contract to M&M Jamaica Limited for the renovation of the lecture room and GOMS officers' mess as part of the Newcastle redevelopment project for the Jamaica Defence Force in the amount of $146,420,354.60. And that concludes the major cabinet decisions. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Minister Williams. You may stay right at the lectern. We do have a couple of questions for you. Minister Williams, you are aware, as those who are here as well, that we are streaming live on JIS's website, as well as PBCJ, on cable, and certainly on their website, and on the Prime Minister's pages. So far, I've seen only from two sites, the JIS and the Prime Minister's pages, we have close to 700 viewers on our streams. Let me go to a quick question from the stream, as I think members of the media try to gather, and I'll give them some time to formulate their questions if they have any. There's one for you, Minister, in your capacity as Minister of Education, from Hillary Brown, who is viewing from Florida, and she's asking concerning the donation of tablets. If private individuals want to send tablets to Jamaica, can they simply take it? What is the mechanism?
Absolutely. We welcome all donations of tablets and laptops for our children in Jamaica. We have a very formal process through which we receive donations. We have an entity within the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information called the National Education Trust. And it should be the first stop for anyone who wants to donate, whether it be funds or the actual devices, to the education sector. And in terms of where they get that information, they can simply Google National Education Trust Jamaica, and they will find information in terms of the contact person, Ms. Latoya Harris, and her number. I could give the number right now. It's 876-562-9542, and she's waiting for all calls. 876-562-9542.
I think I have thank you, Minister. I think I have a final question. I'm not seeing raised hands, so to speak, in our Zoom platform, but I do have one that came in from a member of the media concerning just a quick explanation of the, I think, second or third point you raised about the support procedure for JCF members, the approval for interim procedure for the contribution toward legal fees.
And the question?
No formulation of a question. They asked for just a clarification on it, or if you could repeat that so that they would be able to be clearer on that issue.
Okay. So Cabinet gave approval for the contribution of $21 million towards the legal fees of 5 members of the JCF. But there is also approval for the establishment of an interim procedure for the management of contribution to legal fees incurred by members of the JCF for actions taken during lawfully assigned duties pending the finalization of a formal policy by the Ministry of National Security. Minister Morgan, do you have anything additional that you'd like? That's it? Yeah, all right, good.
All right, then let me just make sure that I'm doing another check on our Zoom platform to ensure that any member of the media who wanted anything clarified or a question asked, if they are prepared to raise their hand. Okay, Minister, that being said, I see no further raised hands in the platform. May I thank you then, members of the media, for joining us for our post-cabinet media briefing, the first of the year, and certainly we have committed to doing one every other week. So we'll see you back again week after next. I want to thank the Minister of Education, Youth and Information, the Honourable Favour Williams, along with the Minister of State in the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, the Honourable Robert Nestor Morgan, as well as the Permanent Secretary, Dr. Grace McLean, and the Chief Education Officer, Dr. Kassan Troop, and all the other support members of the team who are here this morning. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us, and we'll see you again week after next. Good morning.